Okay, so this is going to be a very quick video to show how to bulk order and download Landsat data from EarthExplorer. So first of all, on your Google Chrome or whichever browser you choose, type in earthexplorer.usgs.gov, hit enter. You can either do this or search Google for EarthExplorer, and it will be the first link there. Next, you're going to want to register if you haven't already, up on the top over here. If not, then you can log in with your existing username. So once you're logged in, on the map interface, you can then navigate to the area you want. So say for example, if we want here, if you click either a single point, a line, or if you keep adding points, then it will create polygons. Next, select a year. So if we want the entire Landsat catalogue, then we can select from 1970, and you can put the final date as the future, so 2019 in this case because we're in 2018. You can select months. Say if you only wanted some months, then you can deselect all and select the particular month you want. So for this example, if we just choose the first 3 months of the year. Next, if you click datasets, if you're bulk downloading Landsat imagery, then you're going to want to choose this Landsat Collection 1 Level 1 imagery. To explain the kind of difference between the different main Landsat collections, so Landsat Collection 1 Level 2, as it says, this is on demand, so this isn't available for immediate download. These are surface reflectance images, i.e. they have to be manually calibrated to acquire what is perceived to be the surface reflectance rather than the top of atmosphere reflectance. I won't go into that too much now. If you look under Collection 1 Level 1, so the difference is that Level 1 is the images which are ready for processing, whereas Level 2 is already the atmospherically corrected, the atmospherically processed images. And pre-collection is the earlier Landsat missions for which this surface reflectance correction is not available. So this is effectively Landsat generations 1 to 5 or 1 to 3 exclusively really, which have the MSS sensor on board. All of the later Landsat missions have a slightly more advanced sensor, which mainly includes middle infrared bands, which then allows for these to be better corrected for atmospheric haze. So if we wanted the entire generation of surface reflectance imagery, we would, under Collection 1 Level 1, select all 3 of those different bands. Okay, so once selected, you can go to additional criteria. Here you can select whether you had a specific preference for the cloud cover over each scene. In this case, just so we don't come up, in fact, in this case we will just select less than 40% as an example. Okay, then go to results. Okay, now that that's done, you'll see that there are a number of different images which are here. So those earlier selection boxes of which Landsat generation you choose are up here. If we stick to Landsat 8, you'll notice that there are different paths and rows. To show what these are, if you click on, say, the first one, which is path 172, row 35, that will come out with the Landsat scene, which is here. Just wait for it to load. And on the next image, we see that it's row 36 rather than 35. If we choose to add that on too, this will be the scenes below it. Ascending rows equal further south. And finally, if we see this is path 173, row 35. So that would be the northern extent, except a slightly different path. So to explain what these different paths and rows are, as the Landsat sensor flies across the Earth, or up in space across the Earth, it will trace a path down from a north to south direction, and then when it's over the near South Pole, it will then go up at night time, and then on its next pass it will come down on the So as it comes down, it will then create a new path. For ease, they have maintained that the path, adjacent paths will have adjacent numbering in terms of path, and adjacent rows will also have adjacent rows. Note that you can clearly see there is a temporal difference between adjacent paths. So for example here, there's very clearly clouds in this day and not this day, whereas on adjacent images north and south, so adjacent rows, there won't be any kind of temporal difference. You can see here acquisition date of row 35 is 30th of March, and similarly for row 36 it's exactly the same, or that's because it's literally just the next scene to be collected, whereas obviously for it to start off a new path, it would have to have flown around the world a couple of times effectively. Okay, so you can then, if you're bulk ordering and you're happy with the selection, under this click here to export your results, click the export metadata tab, click non-limited results. If you click limited, or sorry, current results, then it will only export those first 10 results rather than all 88 in this example. Under format, click CSV, export. Then you will receive this message saying your export file is being generated. Basically await for the email. Click OK. In a minute we should get the email. Okay, and we can see we've received the email over here. So if we click on that and click on the download link, and download the file. Okay, so let's move on to the desktop quickly. This will be a compressed file, so extract it. And then if you open up that CSV, either in, well, Excel is normally the easiest way, then what you can do is, if you press Shift and Control, select all of those, that first row of images, bring up Notepad, so I've already got it open down here, paste that in, save this file. So Landsat 8 order. Next, if you go to the ESPA ordering interface, so if you Google ESPA ordering interface, it will come up as the first result, hopefully. Yep. Okay, click on New Order up at the top. You should, if you've already logged into EarthExplorer, it should remain logged in over here. Under Add Input Products, choose the correct file, so that text file we just created, and you can select which different various things you want. So here, if we want surface reflectance, we can click that. If we want NDVI automatically, we can also click that. NDVIs are vegetation indices. It's also useful to just keep the input product metadata as well. So after you've done that, potentially if you wanted to change your pixel, so if you weren't interested in 30-meter resolution and you wanted more coarse resolution, you can do that, or choosing limited extents, etc. After that's done though, you can click Submit. Okay, we receive here an error for a number of different files. The reason's uncertain, but fundamentally we're going to have to remove these from our order. Get rid of this one. Save the order again, go through the process again. Okay, and then you should be met with this page, order submitted successfully, and then your order ID is, and then it'll give you your order ID, and then it will give you your order ID. Now if you click show orders, you will see this is an earlier one I'd requested yesterday. You'll see that your new order ID has been added to the interface. You can also have a look at the status. It will go through ordered to processing to complete, and then if you click on it, you'll be able to see the status of each individual scene. As the orders are done, as each scene is done, it will change from ordered or processing under status to complete. And you can click to download the, if you wanted to download individual images, then you can click to download them here. However, if you try and do this with more than 5, so if I give an example, 3, 4, 5, it's fine downloading 5 at once. As soon as you click an additional one, it will come out with this service temporarily unavailable. So after you have, so effectively, there's a much better way of downloading multiple files than having to wait for each of these to download each time. Let's just cancel all these.